Hello developers, welcome to the Lynx tutorials. In this video, we're going to explore a bit more about the Lynx. Now previously we had one video where we just go through the intro and how the Lynx is working and how it's getting better, or it can be better using than the React Native. Now comparing to React Native is on the view from 2015, and there is a comparatively lots of version here. And today whoever is using React Native as new, as you know from previously from the beginner of a native developer, how painful it was to just set up. Now Expo giving you so lot of gig to start with. So in that phenomena, we're gonna try using Lynx to see how those things is working. We're gonna create an application. You're gonna go using the navigation. You're gonna go and try their other module and those parameters, and we're gonna just also see their Devtools and how those things working. Now from the quick start, as you see, the system requirements is pretty simple. We need to just happen to be install Node.js, and if you just go and if you just hover over here and the React link, so everything is happening in the React, not React Native. In the React, you can comparatively pull that within in your Lynx application. So it's a React based application. So as you see, all are from React 17 plus. You can pull that through. So the logic, the state module and all the parameter, we can just pull that from the React. Now in the installation process, pretty simple. You can use npm yarn npm bound, so all the package manager are aligned. It's a very good sign of that. Now what I really like is that creating the application, the React Native still, whenever you are creating the application, is very painful because it's taking a little bit longer time. So now we're gonna go and see how much time is taking. So that's my folder, and here I just open my terminal. So I'm going to run this command here to create my application, which is very simple. npm create rspd at latest, and rspd is the build tool for this Lynx application. Okay, it's processing and need to provide the name. So let's just say test app. Okay, and we are going to the recommended area, TypeScript, and of course we'll go with that ptr code formatting, and done. So now if we just go cd into test app and let's open it within my code editor here. Okay, so that is our flagging application. As you see, it's pretty simple. We are having the source module and the app css, app tsx, index.tsx, by which so far we are going to rerun our application. So now what we need to do, we need to install our dependency, and we're going to go with the npm. So just run that npm install, and now pretty simple. We need to run using a simulator or an Android emulator, or you can go with the physical device. And to go with that, as you see, you need to install. You can just go with in the Prepare Explorer, but we'll go with that with our simulator here. So for my machine, which is using that macOS ARM64, so I need to download that one. Just click on that, it will automatically start downloading, and while it's downloading, I'm also going to be there at the bottom here just to getting that Lynx Devtool. Click on that. So from here and from the assets, we're gonna go and download also this Lynx Devtools, which is still in beta. So we're gonna go and download this version here, and as you see, both are downloading. Just provide a bit of time, so let it finish the downloading, and let's go at the top and see how those things is working. And after that, we need to make directory, and then we need to provide the target setup. And I think it's downloaded. So after downloading this portion here, we need to go and run this command. So you better just go cd into downloads. So now I'm here in my download folder. Let's just run this command, and after running this command, I need to also use the target file to just unzip that. Okay, done. So now after doing those things, as you see, I'm getting an Lynx Explorer RM64-bit. So now what I need to do is starting the development server. So it should be that this installation is done, then npm run deb. So here is a little bit of consideration here. If you're using that Android, you need to go with that Android setup. I'm using that macOS, so I'll go with that Mac setup. So now it's pretty simple and comfortable of that. If you are having that Xcode installed in your machine, that is very simple to go with that. You just need to follow through to run your simulator. So that's my Xcode. So from the Xcode, you need to go over here, open developer tools, and you need to click the simulator, right? So once you are having that simulator is running here, you just need to open one of that simulator portion here. So I'm gonna just run the simulator again. Okay, simulator, and after that I'm gonna close it. So that's the simulator, which is the iPhone 16 Pro. So now it's starting to initialize, and before initializing also I need to go and just run this command npm run dev. It's pretty much like developing that Next.js application though. So npm run dev, and by the way, it will both support for like iOS, Android, and web development. So that's the geek, and that's the quick setup for this like this comfortable situation. So now let's go here, and I'm gonna go run that command npm run dev to initialize and run this application in our local dev server. Okay, it's started to run, and here you can see for the exploration, you can just see the previous video where we go and deep exploration everything, because this tutorials we are trying to explore the routing setup, trying to explore how we can just go and use the navigate things in our application, because previously in our React Native we need to use that React Native navigation and other so many packages we need to combine through. So let's see our simulator. Yeah, it's already open. Okay, previously I used that, so my one explorer is there. You just need to, if you doesn't have that, you just need to go drag and drop it, and that's it. It will start automatically. So what we need to do, we need to copy this one. Whenever you are using the simulator, you need to copy that, and then you need to run this one within this application layer. Okay, it's done, I think. Let's open this one, and after opening, you need to paste the command which we just like copy from there. I think yeah, and let's go. As you see, that is our first ever Lynx application, right? So in this tutorial, we are going to first explore the Devtools first, how we can configure our Devtools. As you remember, we are downloading the Devtools. We just need to click on that to configure the initializing or installation process. So I will just drag my Devtools to my application, and I think after doing this, that's done. So now it's time to open that. So here is the first look of their Devtools. So I'll confirm that one to just connect my application, and also I need to confirm it here. Okay, so reopen again, and after opening I need to provide that link up again. So let's just paste here again, and okay, yeah, very cool. So that's the setup here. So I can just see the entire device here, and also I can see the page view here. I can go with the console, and as you see the hello React Lynx yeah, I think, okay, the one is coming here, hello React Lynx, is probably coming from the app tsx. I think it's written somewhere. As you see the use effect, if we change hello to our first application, okay, hit save and see. Okay, checking, yeah, hello to our first application. So I think that is pretty cool, and now so many people, you're gonna see that comparing things gonna happen, but what I want you to recommend to see here, that their GitHub repo, this application, this entire thing is released just 5 days ago. Still in RC mode. So now these things can be, there is a glitch, there is a lot of things, the hot reloading sometimes is not smashing properly, those things can appear, but the best thing is that it's having all the comfortable scenario which we are having previously using any of the mobile application development scenario. Now what I really wanted to do, to go and check their navigation setup, that's really I want to combine. So first of all, I'm gonna go and shrink the app a bit, because I will no need this entire things over here. So I'm gonna remove this one, and also I'm gonna go and image and others. So let the image be there. So I'm gonna just take another view, and here I'm gonna just pass that like say, let's go in that I'm gonna take a text. I'm gonna call it a home. So this one going to take me as a home, and then I'm gonna take another name which going to be another route, and there is no touchable opacity by so far. We can just go like that with just clicking on that text parameter, and another it will be like say let's say product. Okay, product. So we have two separate routes, and for both of that I would love to just provide the class name, which will be the class name. It should be that title, and that class name is right here. You can, if you want it to, you can just change that design pattern from here. I'm going to keep it simple as we just exploring the Devtools and others. So now how we can go and create the navigation, right? So if we just go over here and Control K or Command K, you can just see this pop-up is coming here. I'm gonna just pass that router or routing, you can say, and it's using that React router. Previously you may experience the React router DOM which Vite is using, so the same routing setup they're using here, and this is coming with the latest version router 6. So I'm gonna copy this one, and after copying that, because right now we didn't install any of the dependency, if you just see over here, it's all our previous just predefined dependency here. So let's just open up or install our first ever dependency in Lynx application. So this is going to be a very much fun. We are creating that React router, and after that we're gonna go this within the documentation. So what is referring here, I'm gonna just go and side by side, and I'm gonna go in my, I think pretty much is capturing okay, app is the home, and it's just taking from that index here, as you see in the rendering situation here. So first of all, it's need to be like import all of those things. So let's say import, and we're gonna import, it should be import coming up from I think the React router. So from here is importing 3 separate things. So one, it will be, let's say, I'm gonna make it a little bit more bigger. One, it will be memory router, another it will be, let's say, routes. And if you are already having idea of that Vite application, how the setup routes, I think you are just good to go over here. And I think the last one is route. So instead of rendering this app over here, we can just pass directly, let's say, memory router. You can just copy paste from there, that will be fine also. Then we will define our routes, and within this parameter we will define our route param. So first route, the path should be our /home, and then we're gonna define our element, which would be element, let's say I'm gonna just pass our app element. So app, so that is our first element. And if we go in our application tools, let's say over here, and if we just hot reload just to see if any glitch over there, no glitches, so means it's working perfectly fine. So now we need to create 2 separate screen. One is the home, another is the product, and pretty much similar pattern we're gonna follow. We're gonna take a new folder called screens, scr screens, and in this screens I'm gonna take a new file which will be the home.tsx, and let's just try to create a simple arrow function, const home, and that should be a simple arrow function. Let's say return, and we're gonna return that from there. We're gonna return within that view, then we're gonna return that text which will define as home. That's it. The similar things I'm gonna copy, and then I'm gonna take another one which should be our, let's say, product.tsx, and pass it here, and instead of that home we need to pass that product. And every single of that we need to export default that variation, and also over here we need to export default home. Done. So our screen is ready. So to combine that screen, so how we can see, as you see, the home and the product, both we need to align all together. So for the home, I think let's go here in our application layer. So first thing first, this setup, I want to go with that in the index. So we're gonna keep a home is the, okay, we can just check another 2 route. So let's just go with that route setup. Okay, and here the path, it will be less /home, and then the element, we're gonna pass the element of that home. Now here is the one problem is that using that JSX, right? This is not actually the typical things should be coming. And for that, we need to still like make some changes, do some extra trick to, because this is should be importing as TSX, right? And also if you see the app is imported at JS, but it should be imported at TSX, right? So to combine that one, I want to go in the tsconfig file here. So in the tsconfig file, we're gonna make another parameter which gonna say us, let's say allow importing TS extension, which I need to write it as true. That's the one things need to be done here. And after that, we need to pass that module, whatever module is there, and also the module resolution. I'm gonna keep it like that, strict true. Okay, and skip. Okay, one things I also need to add here after this one, which should be no emit. Okay, so no emit, and I'm gonna make it as true. Done. And after doing so, if we go in our index here, instead of the JSX, we're gonna just write the TSX, and also instead at f.jsx, we're gonna just write our TSX. So now what's gonna happen, our TypeScript configuration gonna work perfectly fine. And what I want you to just go and make a reload after changing that. So means whenever anything happen, it will just go with that. So React Router will begin wrapping state updates as React okay, in version 7. Okay, we're gonna go with the 7, but right now we're using the 6, so we're gonna see now how we can combine the routing process. So that's the pretty norm is there. As you see, we need to use that nav. So here we will go in our app.tsx where we are having that our title, home, and product. So here I think these two things not recur right now. Where okay, this alter logo, yeah, logo is we are using. So use effect, I'm going to remove that. So here I'm going to use that const name, or you can just name as navigation. So I'm going to provide that use navigation parameter from our use navigation or use navigate from React Router DOM. Now here is that bind tab. Okay, remember we are using the touchable opacity there and on press which we are using, but right now we are using that bind trap. So that's the way it's just provide that. And here we're gonna just combine that, let's say nav, and we just passing that we're gonna pass our as /home. Okay, that would be /home, and we're gonna go with another one. So the second bind tab where we're gonna pass that one as product. I think that's the two we're gonna name that one. Okay, product we didn't create yet. I'm gonna copy one more. Route should be, let's say, product. And now if we just import by default, you see the TSX is just appearing. I think product, yeah, I think we made a misspell there. Product. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, so now if we just go in our application layer, we can now set our scenario here. So if we click on the home, this is appearing in the home, but you know, this a glitch. So we need to go and make in a comfortable situation. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a new folder called container, not container, called components. And in the components, I'm gonna create a new file called container.tsx. So let's say const container. Should be capital container, and the similar of that arrow function. And here I'm gonna pass return simply a view return, and there should be a view, and on the view we're gonna pass simply our children. So everything in the children gonna wrap up, and I'm gonna pass that children, which should be children, and that children should be, let's say, children react dot not dot fragment, react dot react node. Okay, and we also need to export default container. We can inline make the class name here, so we can just pass that not the class name but the style. And in this style we can make that, let's say, margin top I'm gonna provide as a 50 just to see, and padding I'm gonna provide a 5 of padding just to see and combine all together. So if we go in our home, I want to wrap that view with that container parameter, container. Done. So we are wrapping that within our container. So let's go in. I think the hot reloading sometimes it's just passing it back, and as you see, it's actually in the view. It's because of that you need to go and find the notch here for that iPhone setup and others. Otherwise, it's working perfectly fine. So if we go at the home, okay, margin top is not working. So okay, I'm using Tailwind CSS, should not be. Okay, I think also we can combine that Tailwind CSS here also. So we're gonna export it later, so no worries about that. Okay, still, yeah, you see the home, and we can just pass it here. If we go in our home page here, so where is our home? In the home, we can just import our import, which going to be our, let's say, app.css. And we can just simply pass that class name as title. So you can see the big text here, right? So also we can pass that, let's say, text, and we're gonna pass some Lauren 30 text parameter just to see we are here in the good setup. So this is our home, right? And after passing at the home, we also want to go back to our, like, say, product. So we can just similarly text go, or you can just pass an arrow function, arrow method to just to go at the logo. So but I think, let's say, passing that as a back. So let's pass the style here, and we can pass the inline style, and should be, let's say, font size. Font size, I'm gonna make it as 20, and after that, margin top should be, let's say, 10. Okay, so now here, whenever I'm gonna make that bind tab, I want to pass that navigation layer also. So, okay, I think, okay, what's wrong here? I think I missed something. Okay, so I need to pass that nav. So const nav should be use navigate, and that nav should be passing that, let's say, nav. I'm gonna just pass that to our home. Okay, so this will take back to our home. Okay, we are in the home, and now we need to also pass through our product parameter. So same thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this entire segment from there. Entire segment, let's go back to our product, and here, let's say, pass it, and there should be product. And if we pass in the container, and also I think we need to pass the nav. So const nav is equal to use navigate. Done. If we go back to our product, we are here in the product, back here, go back to the home, back here, and there is, okay, there is one error here, a slight error, but I think we can also find that error here. CSS length, CSS value 20, font size. Okay, the font size is not the length property, but it's working. that's sometimes it going to happen, because you know the thing is that the font size here 20 is working, but it's not combining all together. I think we can just simply use that our app.css here, where we are using that font parameter, so we can use the subtitle. That's it. So let's go in our home. We will just, instead of that style parameter, I'm gonna pass that class name, and it will be subtitle. So if we roll back to our home, we should be able to see the subtitle. Okay, I think their hot reloading is not that every time gonna pick. If we go back to the home, yeah, now it's picking. Okay, so that hot reloading, you need to just sometime go some manual setup, you know, because it's still in RC mode and still is developing phase, so that can be error. Okay, so now also in the product, instead of this one, we can just simply use the setup which we love to do with that. Okay, so let's go here, put a class name and subtitle, and also at the top we need to import our file. Import, app.css. Okay, now here as you see the combination here, we created our we just made our routing setup, right? Now typically if you're using that React Native or others, you know how much difficult is to create the routing, you know that. So now what we're gonna just go and just understand a little bit more thoroughly, so by which we can just create a like a counter application or make some other application. But if you're using React Native before, you know how many dependency, how many packages we need to combine to create this simple routing. And as you see, there is no glitch. That's really I like. You see, there is no navigation parameter, all are native modules, so there is no glitch, no like there is no gap between screen to screen. That is the best like this is the best solution for me to while I'm building my application. I don't want to see my page is putting a gap in between, you know, some page is coming, some screen is coming and another put in the gap. That's the native behavior React Native need to resolve. So here it's already resolved. You see, it is really comfortable. You see, there is no glitch over here. That is really perfect and combined all together. So here it is, you are having that, you are having your first ever React routing setup and others. In our next, we're gonna create a counter application. We can create lots of other prefetching method and to understand those things in a better way. So stay tuned, we're gonna come up with lots of other things.